Right now at noon, 4 state animal shelters are struggling to find resources.
And it's been sunny and hot through the weekend, continuing into today. A little bit of relief may be on the way. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, Pineville residents camp out for a good cause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The family of the 8-year-old girl from Carl Junction who died on a plane speaks out for the first time. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. Over the weekend, the family released a statement and photo of Sydney after her death last week. The statement saying, quote, "Our hearts are shattered by the devastating loss of our precious daughter. We request privacy and respect as we cope with the profound grief. We found the words to honor Sydney the best we could right now." Sydney Weston passed away after becoming unresponsive during a flight from Joplin to Chicago. Preliminary autopsy findings are inconclusive after several studies. A GoFundMe has also been established to benefit the Weston family. Now here's Chris Warner with a look at the forecast.
Yeah, it has been sunny. It's been hot over the last several days across the area. Some are really settling in out there. Quick look from earlier this morning, the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line, a couple of stray clouds, otherwise clear skies. Same view from our camera on the Cornell complex. In fact, those are those same clouds from the MoDOT camera there. And that's how today is going to be. Mostly clear skies, a few clouds here and there, but otherwise hot and dry. Yesterday started at 75. Well above where we're supposed to be for this time of year, and just 4 degrees shy of at least tying a record. With our high yesterday of 91, we should have been at 86. So still much warmer than where we're supposed to be. And that's been the trend and will remain the trend. Average high about 87. Take a look at these temperatures. But then take a look at Wednesday. That's only a degree above average. We're going to see a little break in this summertime heat. It will be brief, but it will be well worth it because it's just been hot. Clear skies through the evening. Again, maybe a passing cloud or two, staying quite mild. 82 at 10, still up to 79 by midnight. We got lows tonight back into the low to mid 70s, so another very mild, very above average night for us. Again, there's some relief on the way. It'll be brief and maybe even a few isolated rain showers out there. We'll break down the full details and the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
See you soon. A motorcycle crashes into a car on Range Line in Joplin. It happened just after 10:45 p.m. Saturday night. The collision occurred at 11th and South Range Line, and Joplin police say that everyone involved refused medical care. Southbound traffic was diverted for about 60 minutes. A fatal crash in Joplin claims the life of a 41-year-old man. The crash occurred Friday evening at 26th and Country Club Drive across from Twin Hills. Joplin police say the vehicle went off the road at a high rate of speed and struck a large tree, coming to a stop. The driver, Sergio Marroquin, died later at a Joplin hospital. Camping out for a good cause. Pineville residents this weekend pulled an all-nighter to help the fight against cancer. The overnight event, called Relay for Life, included a silent auction, live music, raffles, and much more. All funds from the event went to the American Cancer Society. Animal shelters across the 4 states say they're overwhelmed with animals and resources are stretching thin. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
We are over capacity. So our numbers at the moment are 664 animals, right? That is 404 cats and 260 dogs in our care.
Overwhelmed is how animal shelters like the Joplin Humane Society say they're feeling as the number of animals at the shelter reaches nearly double what staff say they are comfortable taking care of.
That definitely does put a strain on us. It puts a strain on the amount of resources we have to devote to any particular situation.
The SCK Humane Society in Pittsburgh reports that they are also at capacity. Both shelters say they are currently unable to do any animal intakes except in emergency situations. They say the heavy influx of animals is an issue not only felt in the 4 states, but across the nation.
We haven't seen data this bad since 2017, so that's pre-pandemic times. Now, we're a no-kill shelter, but if you look at the euthanasia data right now, those shelters haven't seen that type of data since 2015. we are in a really bad storm right now with animals.
The SCK Humane Society says they fear if they or other shelters cannot take the animals being turned in, it will eventually result in automatic euthanasia for some animals. The weight of that potential reality lies heavy on many shelter workers' minds.
It's heartbreaking. It's a very large emotional struggle for every single staff member at any shelter. We get to see those cases from start to finish, and we always want to intake as many animals as we can.
As temperatures begin to rise, shelters worry that another influx of animals is headed their way, as Good Samaritans bring in strays to try to keep them hydrated and cool. And local shelters say they aren't in a place to be able to help all those who need it. They're asking that if it is not an emergency case, for the public to help the animal.
We really want the general public to try and find solutions outside of the shelter.
What we are trying to retrain the community on is that if you see an animal in need, you need to understand that it is your responsibility. If you are going to be picking up an animal, we'll of course try and assist you, but you cannot guarantee that 100%.
Both the Joplin and SCK Humane Societies are running adoption specials to help encourage people to visit. They ask anyone interested in adopting or fostering an animal to reach out or visit to learn more and fill out paperwork.
We are working towards fixing this issue, and it's really on the good people of Joplin and the surrounding communities to help us out and get us to that point.
Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Both the SCK and Joplin Humane Societies say there are still ways you can help if you're unable to foster or adopt an animal. They say monetary donations and supplies such as food go a long way during these tough times. Well, coming up, 2 Pittsburgh teens are tackling the world of AI, hoping to improve education for their peers. And later, we're making half-sour dill pickles in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, 2 Pittsburgh teens are diving into the world of artificial intelligence by starting their own business. KOAM's Dow Quick has their story.
Ever since November and the big ChatGPT large language model AI wave hit, I've been really enthralled in that and using it for not only personal uses but also educational uses.
Education and AI technology. It's a murky combination few have ventured, but it's exactly where Dominic Bach and Noah Niederklein are headed. Through the Pittsburgh High School Launch Program, the pair started working with Pittsco Education, helping the company launch its drone maker and Luma products. Dominic then recruited Noah to join him on his AI dream, working with Pittsco to develop AI technology that would give every student an individualized learning experience. One that would stimulate students like himself, who aren't challenged in the typical classroom.
And then on the flip side, you also have students on the lower end who are being left behind.
We just think that's really important for all students to have the opportunity to have that power and control over how they learn.
So how does it work?
In our system, that teacher role is replaced by a large language model, and whenever the student has a question or a concern, they can ask the large language model and talk to them, and the large language model is going to act as a teacher and work them through the content and really just help them learn.
But as it's doing that, it's also learning.
One amazing example that we had is, say Tommy, he has a baseball game coming up. And he talks to his AI and tells him that he has this baseball game coming up.
Dominic and Noah's technology will remember that detail and connect the dots.
The AI is going to then notify the teacher, say, oh, hey, Tommy, he has a baseball game coming up, and I noticed his academic performance is dropping in correlation with that. I think there's a correlation between those two things. You should talk to him about that and figure out what's going on. And that's really the core of what we want to do. We want to keep teachers involved in the students' lives and make sure the teacher is acting as sort of a mentorship type role.
We're not completely taking the teacher out of the picture and replacing them with the AI. The AI is becoming an assistant, a tool that the teacher uses to help them with their job.
With Pittsco on board, Dominic's AI dream is gaining ground.
The next step in terms of our partnership with Noah and Dominic is to take our learning management system that's called Synergy, that is utilized all over the United States in classrooms in all 50 states, and be able to start embedding artificial intelligence components into it and be able to help Noah and Dominic tweak their systems, be able to pilot test and beta test with some of our closest customers, and really start to join the wave of artificial intelligence.
Right now, the educational system, as it currently stands, just doesn't really work. There's no other way to put it. I believe that it needs something significant to stir it up and make some big waves, and I think this is what that can be.
Making waves that have the potential to revolutionize the education system in America. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Dow Quick, KOAM News.
In 5 years, both Dominic and Noah hope to expand their AI tech into other systems like Canvas and Blackboard. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
They're crispy, crunchy, and downright delicious. Just wait till you see how easy these are to make at home.
And it's staying hot across the area, and it will continue to be that way with maybe a few isolated rain chances. We'll break down the details in the forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So it's been sunny, it's been hot. That's how we started our day as well, and it might stay that way. In fact, it will stay that way for today and into a good portion of tomorrow. Future track, let's take a look at that, and we're going to see where we've got those isolated shower chances. Again, our rain chances today really less than 5% as we head later into the afternoon and evening hours. We'll have a few passing clouds, otherwise mostly clear through the night. As we head into our Tuesday, though, we're going to see slightly better opportunity for a few isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm. The good news is the rain chances over the next few days, at this point, not anticipating anything severe. The bad news is it's expected to be relatively isolated to widely scattered at best. So here we are at noon tomorrow, and you can see where we got just a few of those showers. The better chances east of I-49 and south of I-44 for some slightly more meaningful rainfall as we head into tomorrow evening. It will clear out again overnight. We head into the rest of our Tuesday night, warm, few clouds. Then we go into Wednesday, and that's when we'll see an opportunity for some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. Our UV index today is very high. That's a 10, so burn time about 10 minutes. So again, make sure you're taking precautions across the as you head outside. If you've got to be outside, if you can avoid it, definitely recommend that, because our heat risk potential still up there as well, from moderate to major. So in the orange here, we're talking heat index values upper 90s to about 100, and in these red zones, that's where we could see those heat index values 100 to 105. As we head into the next couple of days, we start to see a little bit of relief. Tuesday, still a large moderate zone out there, but starting to see some minor heat impacts, which means lower heat index values out there. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we get a pretty decent pause with more minor across the areas. We're talking heat index values dropping in the low 90s, maybe even some upper 80s, which will be a great relief. Unfortunately, it is short-lived. By Friday, you can see that moderate risk starting to overspread the area once again. And as we head into Saturday, we've got that major risk reappearing across parts of the area as well. So we're going to go right back to that dangerous heat by this weekend. So some quick tips on how you can keep yourself, your family, your pets safe from the heat out there. Number one, for pets, make sure you're doing early morning walks when it's a little bit cooler, and make sure they're otherwise staying indoors. Kids, again, try and keep them inside. Otherwise, for sure, keep them hydrated. Use water. Pedialyte pops are a great way to do that. If you yourself, like the gentleman pictured here, you have to work outside, it's not really a choice, make sure you're finding shade or a place to get out of the sun and stay hydrated while you're out there as well. Take as many breaks as you possibly can. And then again, elderly, like the children, very susceptible to this kind of heat, so make sure you're checking up on them as well. For the rest of today, upper 80s, low 90s, south breeze gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour, and it'll stay breezy tonight and into tomorrow. Gusts to 30. Overnight lows into the low 70s under mostly clear skies. And we'll go partly cloudy for our Tuesday. Highs similar to today, upper 80s, low 90s, and again, a few isolated late-day storms out there, and the gusty winds continue south, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Then we'll see those thunderstorm chances. Again, they're isolated, but at least they're there Wednesday and Thursday, and that's why we get to cool back just a little bit, see reduced heat index values. And then as we head into the weekend, the heat returns back in the low 90s and those potentially dangerous heat index values.
Well, stick around. We're making half-sour dill pickles in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is showing us the recipe for half-sour dill pickles in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Have you ever been at the market or stopped by a roadside stand and noticed what looks like mini cucumbers? You know, the ones that are about 2 to 3 inches long and the skin is a bit paler than regular cukes? If you have, those are commonly known as Kirby's or pickling cukes. Now, we're seeing more and more of them as they come into their peak season. So let me show you what you can do with them. We can use them like any other cucumbers in our salads, but where they really stand out is when we pickle them. And no, we don't need any special equipment. All we do is combine some water, white vinegar, a touch of sugar, and salt, and bring it to a boil. Once the sugar dissolves, we pour this over some Kirby's that we cut in half, along with some fresh garlic and dill. And as you can see, we made these right in canning jars, but you could also make them in a basic glass bowl. Maybe throw in a few jalapeno slices to make them spicier if you want. Let me tell you, these are way better than any store-bought pickles since they're made with TLC. And whether you serve them with your grilled favorites or just sneak one out of the fridge, you can't go wrong. So don't dilly-dally. Go online and get the recipe for our half-sour dill pickles, so you'll have it on hand the next time you pick some of these up. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a crispy and juicy way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
It's going to be hot again today, hot tomorrow, maybe a couple of stray showers or storms. Slightly better chances of some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms Wednesday and Thursday. That's when we'll see slightly lower temperatures and lower heat index values, but it doesn't last long. We dry out heading into the weekend. Temperatures rise and heat index values return to potentially dangerous levels.
Well, it looks like we're in for another week of heat, and be sure to take proper precautions when outside. And coming up tonight at 5, the stock market recently hit a record high, and a report shows inflation is easing. However, Americans are saying they're not feeling much relief. We're going to take a look at the reasons behind that. Plus, newly proposed OSHA regulations could potentially impact first responders across the nation. We're going to take a look at how this could impact local fire stations and EMS. And the city of Humboldt, Kansas is added to a prestigious list of small towns by the Smithsonian. Join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.